That's wow, that is bad.
Yeah, now you're.
Wow, that is bad.
Now you're.
Wow, that is bad. Now you're looping.
No, that's
back.
me. That's me. That's me. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. That's me. That's me. Woo! This is the fun you guys miss if you don't tune in early enough. This is what you don't see.
Yeah. Okay. So I know what cable is going to be burned in a fiery fire pit this summer.
Which one's going to die hard?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so I got that. So this is one of those things that if I click this button, that it's doing stuff.
Okay.
Things are happening. Things are happening.
Is it doing good stuff?
It's doing good stuff. That means if I hit this, it's even better stuff. I don't have a beer though.
Oh, better run.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you.
Welcome, human. I am ready for you.
We show onboard computer synchronization.
Roger that.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubble.
Let's rock! Oh, you're going straight to hell for that one.
That's the fact, Jack!
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
Is this moron number one? Put moron number two on the phone.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you, I make you laugh. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Yeah, I know that, dude. You're mocking me, aren't you? Sure. Monkeys might fly out of my butt.
Uh-oh! My heart just stopped! Ah, there it goes.
Hey, yo, what's going on, yo? Sick and tired of 5-0 running up on the block, you know what I'm saying? Yo,
there we go.
Around looking for you the other day.
Word. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Turned up in the 12-inch single. Yeah.
I did not even remember this song. Informer. I think that's the words. I think that's the actual words of the song. Informer. Isn't it? Right? Something like that. It is.
Yeah.
The Dune and Bob Show. It is Sunday, February 25th of the 2018. Hey, Warhawk's in the room. How you doing, dude? He says, echo. Yes, there was an echo earlier. Johnny has a beer.
Yeah. I need it.
I don't know if I want to. We need to talk about beer.
Do we?
We need to talk about beer. I guess we could just talk. We could just start talking about. But I'm dicking the licky boom boom though. That sounds so bad. There's no way to make that sound good. There's just no way. I don't know how that comes out.
You dig the licky boom boom.
Digging the licky boom boom. Yeah. I don't like licking boom booms. That never. Oh, stop.
Wait a minute.
Just stop. Just totally quit. Oh well. So where did you find this? This was a gem, obviously.
There's a record store in Boston called Cheapo Records, and they had a lot of dollar bin stuff. They had a lot of expensive stuff.
Yep.
And they had this $5 12-inch single of Informer.
And there it was.
There it was.
That's cool.
So
and don't move. There you go. You're back. Johnny has a cable. Johnny has a cable that's going to die a slow, fiery death. Actually, a fast, fiery death.
Because Gothard and Mike they got a cabin up in Maine where you sit around outside drinking beers around a fire.
Yes.
And so it turns into a game of, well, what can we burn this year? And I got something.
You got something. Maybe you can try. If you tried turning it, sometimes that works for me because Dune.
I turned it before the show, and then it went out completely.
Oh,
and then I had to turn it again.
So no more turning. We've gone from wiggle to turn.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
sometimes you wiggle it, sometimes you turn it. That's okay. It's back. It's working. Well, that's the bad thing. It doesn't appear it's actually. Well, I guess you don't actually stare at your mixer, so you don't know. It's one of those things.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at it right now.
It's just
my
funny.
levels.
It's just really strange to me that it snaps itself back when you start talking because it's like afraid of you.
Well, I don't know. I find that a lot of bad cables work that way. For me, anyways. Maybe not normally, but I've had a lot of situations where if you got a bad connection, the stronger the signal, it's as if, like, it needs a little bit extra to push it. And once it, like, warms it up, there it is.
It just pushes it right over the top.
Like, for example, I had a very bad soldering iron.
Yes.
It ran on batteries.
Here, you can start bringing that down now. Just I know it's a great song. Down that way. Down. There we go.
But we hit the break.
You hit the
Wow. The telephone rang.
The rabbit. That's like boom.
Yeah. Boom.
Licking the boom
All right.
booms.
Lick the boom boom.
Lick the boom booms.
Okay. So I have a soldering iron that ran on batteries, and after about 5 minutes, the battery was run down enough that it couldn't get hot enough anymore. So and then you put that on the the smoke detector remote control used battery pile.
Yes.
Yeah, because they only need just enough to. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I didn't put the smoke detector takes 9 volt. Otherwise, I would have filled all these smoke detectors. But no, you want fresh batteries.
Fresh.
Otherwise, you get woken up.
Yeah, don't take the ones out of there. Here we go.
So I had some cold solder joints on. Now here's the thing: you wire in a car radio. I'm sure there are tons of people that just twist the wires, put a little tape on it, call it good.
So that's right. Absolutely, isn't that the way it works? That's what I was taught that in high school. That if you're in a hurry, you strip it, twist it, and call it good. That sounded. Now, take that out of contest and try to figure out what I just said.
Dune, enough about sex ed class. Let's get back
to stereo wiring 101.
Strip it, ticks and twist it, call it good.
Call it good.
Yeah. So I decided, you know what, I don't want to deal with these bad connections anymore or poke around fiddling around. I'm going to strip it, twist it, solder it. And the thing is that the way you're really supposed to solder a wire is you're supposed to touch the wire with the soldering iron at one point.
Heat the wire up, then introduce.
And then touch the solder at a different point so that your heat has heated up the wire so hot
that way
the wire itself can melt your solder.
The technical term is solder suckage.
Yeah,
you have to induce solder suckage. Hey, Jeff Kelly's in the room over in. I just said in the room. I just it's like in a room. No, it's in the room.
He's like standing right behind you.
Yeah, don't creep me out. That's your job, by the way. You realize that if there's somebody behind me, you're supposed to tell me, and I'll do the same for you.
Now, I know it's 7 steps in that direction, but if someone's coming from that direction, where's the next closest? You don't want to give away your secrets.
No.
Yeah, but I just told you look to your right.
Johnny, stop. Don't. People are on the radio now know.
Everyone saw you look to your right,
okay,
dude.
That's true.
You immediately were like, over there.
Over there, yeah. Never mind. Or it could be over there. It could be either one. No, I'm actually last night when I was on Twitch. Not to talk about Twitch today. A guy from a different radio station that I actually had offered my. This sounds. I'm sounding like that guy again. Offered my services to the guy I offered my services to. Does not see that doesn't sound right. You can't say that.
Your streaming services.
My streaming, yes, because they got a show on Saturday. But I think a guy calls in sick or whatever. Hey. Dune's your man. See, once again, it sounds horrible. I got to stop. I'm just never mind.
No. Okay. But
still going to
anyways,
use against me. But yeah. So you're twisting wires, you're soldering wires.
Right. Now the thing is that since my soldering iron's this crappy battery powered, the way it works is you hold the soldering iron on the wire. You hold the solder somewhere else in the wire, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and finally you get to the point where you're like, "Fuck it." Belt some solder, get on the wire, get some tape on there. I mean, twisting it alone should have been good. So covering it up with some, metal should, only improve the situation. And that's why I found myself in the car that every now and then one of my channels would stop working and you crank up the volume and poof, it pops right back in. So for some reason, more signal is able to overcome bad wires.
Yeah, I was going to say it just heats it up in a whole different way.
Right.
Yes.
So so finally I bought a soldering iron that you plug in and that gets way hotter than the battery one. Took the thing out and just heated up all the solder on all those connections so that the suckage was there.
That's right. Maximum soldery suckage. Yeah. Oh, he's writing his. They have. Yeah, they do have several shows. It's. By the way, I'm hoping I'll get him to call in later on so we can talk to him and he can plug his station and stuff. It's a music station. And they got a lot of cool shows on there.
Yeah.
But
cool.
but we got to get to the beer before I forget and before this gets cold. Here, okay, for the people that know, cold. Jesus Christ, it's gonna be a long day.
You have a nice steaming, piping hot mug of beer.
This is gonna be the longest 2 hours at all. Oh God. Now, Solace Marine says the most expensive battery-powered soldering iron I've ever used was still the worst. $7 Walmart plug-in soldering iron is just worth it. There you go. That's true.
No. The plug-in soldering irons just don't.
I think one of the more badass ones I had. A guy had this one that was actually butane powered. That thing would get with the program. That was kind of cool. Well, anyway, so for a long time Dune and Bob Show listeners and 5-Hit listeners from a couple years ago, there was that time where Johnny has this good friend that makes beer, and I thought, hey, why not? And like Dune always does, he jumps into the fray way too much. You know, the whole idea is I'm going to buy this really cheap beer kit. I'm going to make some beer. It'll be fun, and then I'll move on. No. What does Dune? Dune buys the cheap beer kit, then buys the more expensive piece that goes with it, and then buys the label maker, and the
bottles, and the bottle caps, and the bottle capper.
So what ends up happening is you end up with something like this. This is one of my 5-Hit Brewing Blueberry Blonde Hot Chick on the side.
Oh yeah,
there we go, with the hair blowing.
Oh,
and I didn't realize I've got like a case and a half of this different stuff. I got a whole bunch of blueberry. I got cherry, the good cherry,
and I got cherry blonde,
and I have some milk stout left over. Well, here's the deal. So I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll cool these things down. I'll pour the beers. We'll do the show. It'd be great, and do my music show on Saturdays, the 5-Hit show. And I open up one of the cherry blondes, pour it in. Looks good, doesn't smell. It smells good, you know. First couple sips, not too bad. Sip 4 or 5, I'm going like, okay, this wasn't as good as I remember. By about a quarter of the way through, I'm just going like, okay, this is not good at all. And I had to throw it out, Johnny. And I'm afraid that the Dune beer is dead. I think it has lost its luster.
So we've learned that we have to drink the Dune beer fast.
Yes, I think so. Now, here's the whole thing. I have not had one of these blueberries yet, so I thought what I would do, I will try one.
This is an experiment right now, yes, live here on the radio.
My whole thing, I was ready to pour it all out. I really was. I was going to go. Okay, there's some carbonation still in there. Does it still go ring?
Okay,
yes, it still rings.
Okay,
but
still rings.
Yeah, I don't know. It still sounds like beer. It still has foam like beer. And I purposely poured this so it foamed, just to make sure it did foam. And boy, did it!
Get a little extra head there.
Lots of foam. Now this is the blueberry, and of course, because I live in the dimly lit world, you can't really see. You know, that's not bad. This beer is over a year old. And so that's the carbonation. And that's the whole thing, though. I mean, does it matter, the whole year old thing? I'm not sure. Hey, Farrell's in the room over on the iVlog side.
Well, you know, some people age beers, so you know.
Well, I just kind of what I wondered, because now the whole thing is, you know, your other beers, your Coors Lights, your Buds, or whatever, they always say best born date or best on by date or something like that.
Right.
So I don't know. Okay, so but anyway, I was ready to pour all this out, absolutely all of it. Now this is making me feel a little bit better because that looks really, really, really good.
Yeah, that does. That looks good.
It's so good, I may have to send some to you. So it smell.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, if you need some help unloading some of that,
if it's okay, you're not getting. I have about 4 of the cherry ones left. They're not the fogs or the other ones. They're not coming to you because they were terrible.
Whatever happened to the rest of the cherry fog?
It's in a sewer near you. Yes, right. I wasn't even. You know, the cherry fog I made was so bad that I sent Johnny that I absolutely almost didn't want to reuse those bottles after I cleaned them. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. So anyway, let's see here. Okay, you know what? That's okay. I think the blueberries have a better shelf life
than the cherries.
So I'm going to call that okay. Matter of fact, what I'll do is Johnny, I will box some of those up to you and send you those in a legal way, not an illegal way.
Okay.
Just for the people out there that might be listening that could arrest me for trying to send alcoholic beverages across state lines, because you're not supposed to do that.
No. You're just sending yeast cultures.
Yeast cultures, that's right. So there you go. That's
yeast. Yeast cultures.
That's good.
For medical purposes. It's medicinal.
Okay. Blueberry is still good. Whew. Okay, so I don't have to dump all that out. I feel better now. So close. It's scary. But anyway, that was the worst part about the show last night. The rest was pretty good. Last night I had everything ready from 2 weeks ago. My Deep Grooves was the name of the show, and that was what I was going to do. But when you and I did the show together last week, that kind of cut into things.
Right.
But,
I was like, hey, you know what we should do? Screw whatever you planned, and let's do a show.
That's right. Johnny's like, you know, all that work you did setting up all your show, all your intros and everything. Screw that, dude. No, we're doing a show.
That's going to come in great handy next week.
Which believe me was fun for the people that didn't get to catch it. It's really cool because Johnny sends me his audio feed, and I actually play it over the air. And he plays vinyl. I play MP3s, and we talk and we drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
So by the end of the show, basically it's, hey, how'd you like that song? What song? Was that? Yeah, it was that song there. It was one of those things that ends up being pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said last time, it was actually pretty cool though. It was one of my, that's the kind of music I like. I do like that kind of slow jammy stuff. You can wear your jammies too, by the way, if you want to. But I digress. You know what I will do? I will put that up if you'd like to Skype in and it's be live for Skype. Please do call in if you'd like. Hey, Jeff Kelly, if you want to call in, we can talk about your station. He's got a station over on, it's actually, I keep wanting to say it's on Twitch. He's actually on several different audio streams too. It's The Works. And it's spelled funny, and I wish I could remember how it's spelled. And now that I can't remember how to spell it, WRX, I think it is, The Works. And if
okay.
Yeah, this is really good to try to ask, hey, maybe I can fill in once in a while, and I don't even know the name of the station. Isn't that great? This is going to go over well for me. And I also found out last night too, I was using that program. Oh, there we go. I should probably turn that up so I can actually hear what's going on. NHB.
How's it going?
What's up? Who do we got here?
Hey, it's Jeff Kelly.
Hey, Jeff Kelly. There we go. He actually called in old school. You can do that, though.
Yeah, let me...
that's great. Let
me turn that down.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I didn't get to do the radio thing. Turn your radio down. Turn your radio... I could do that. That's always fun when you get to do that. I think the first time... Yeah, the first time when I did the show, when I started this in 2002, I think it was. And the first time I got to tell somebody, I thought that was so cool. I actually got to tell somebody to turn the radio down. Oh, and then I thought to myself, hey, I sound pretty good. Turn it back. No, I'm kidding. I didn't do that. But anyway, it's Hit Radio, The Works, WORX. Do I got that correct?
I got WURX.
WURX. See, Bob Dune's making good friends right now. But but no, it's a cool station. Now, I'm glad I got you on here because I wanted to bounce a few. This whole thing about Twitch is like, it is like the wild, wild west. There is so many people on Twitch. It is insane. I
went through several other casting sites before we got to Twitch, and I didn't really know anything about Twitch before we came over. I thought it was all gaming, is what I was told, and originally. And then I was told that they had a new section called IRL, which is in real life. And then somewhere off of that, they had music. And I thought, okay, well, a friend of mine who also DJs on the Works, he was the one that brought me into Twitch. So we'd gone through several other sites. Some I really don't even want to name because I'm guessing that most of them we're on right now.
Just saying, because
there are other sites that are still on. A couple of them I don't really want to talk about. The last one I was at was before this was camup.tv.
I've got that one. I haven't been using it though, because there's like 12 people. There's like 12 people on there, I think, or something like that.
That's one of the reasons for our move.
Yeah,
was the amount of people there. So we decided it was time for a change, and when we moved there, we were there for a while. I was on some other stations for a little while, and then I decided it was time to start my own. So I thought, okay, so it was kind of a labor of love. A couple other people did it with me. Shy, who you've seen, and I don't know if you've seen the Yeti.
Yes,
Mike.
Yes, I have. When I watch him, he does a great show, by the way. But he makes my neck hurt because he has his monitors he's like looking up in the sky, going, oh. I mean, he's got this great big iMac, and it's like so far up in the air. I'm going like, gosh, that's got to. At the end of the day, it's just got to hurt so much from looking up like that. But it's a cool looking studio he has. It's absolutely awesome.
He's 6'5", so he's up there.
Oh yeah.
And I've been to his studio, and it's the same way. You're looking up, and by the time you get done doing a show, okay, you look like you just came out of a car wreck, because you have to have a brace around your neck.
and that's the way it looked for me when I saw that. I was like, wow, that's a cool looking. But you know what? It's the same. It works that way with me too, because like in front of me, I've got my monitor. I use an iMac also. I got that. Don't hold that against me. I got that in front of me. And then I have a small 7-inch monitor mounted on top of the iMac, which actually has the feed that's actually going out live, so I can see what's going on there. And then over to my left, I do have to look up. There's another Mac up there that it's just doing all the streaming stuff of it. Then I have the PC over to my left that does the hardcore video stuff over there. And I'm the same way that after a while I get to where if I can just kind of cheat and lean back there, pull the mic over so I don't sound bad. And then, and then I got a straight on view. Johnny is in full, he sits in full chill mode constantly. So for him it's no problem, but no, I haven't caught your show yet. Like I said, I have seen Yetis and Shy Guy, which is strange because he's Shy Guy, but it's his name's backwards of that, which I haven't figured out. Guy Shy or something like that. There's got to be a fun story there somewhere. But
it's Shy Guy.
Okay.
Shy Guy. Yeah, we just kind of gave him that name, and he kind of stuck. So.
There we go. Well, anyway, back to Twitch. They got all the different stations, and even on the music side of it, there's a crap load. And I mean, and that's kind of what bums me out, because like I said, when I see somebody pop up on because I get to the point where I'm not even going to put the chat up. I don't even bother, because nobody's going to come in there. And I mean, literally, I'm so far down on the list that unless somebody, is like really bored, or you got a troll that wants to come in and say, really awful things and then leave, and that's the sad thing. I'm all for that. Hey, come in, say some bad things and leave. At least somebody came into the channel. That's how sad things got. And so, but there's some stuff on there. And I mean, and I hate to say, I don't want to call it bad stuff. I just call it stuff I don't really want to listen to. And it's mainly like techno trance kind of stuff. I love watching people live mix. I think that's really awesome. That to me is, and there's actually a couple of people on there that are usually way towards the top that are really, really freaking good. And I like watching them. I love watching people live mix that really do it well. But there's also a lot of people, and I would put them in the same category as me. If I went out and bought one of those mixers, I could probably, fake my way through it, but I'd just be another one of those guys kind of thing. So I don't want to do that. And I look at them and I'm going like, well, God, they got 9 people in their room. Hey, how many do I got? So for carry the 2, 0.
Took a long time to count to 0. Huh?
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes there's 1, and that's when I'm looking to see how many's in there. Of course, that's me looking at it. So, oh well.
Sounds like it was backwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's funny the way you did that just now.
Yes.
Where you do the calculation to get up to 0. I reminded me earlier today. not to completely change the topic, but I was having lunch with Seth, and he's telling us about this thing. It was released. Actually, it's being released on. And he looks at his watch like he's gonna say, like 5 minutes from now. He's like, it's released 2 days ago. And I'm like,
well,
wait a minute.
Maybe he has an Apple Watch.
What?
Yeah,
well, he was checking the day at his watch, but it looked funny. It looked funny.
Because you're thinking something,
I'm expecting
watch hours, minutes kind of things, not days.
I'm like, hey, how long to 10? How many hours we get? No, he's.
That would be like him saying that's going to be released, and he looks at his watch in North Dakota. That would make you go, yeah. There we go.
That would be great.
That would be actually cool. But no, that's what the cool thing is. They get people actually watching. You guys seem to have a decent following, which is kind of neat. It's neat to have people that that are actually watching it. Just it's fun. And that's why I do this on iVlog. I'm on. There's Variety Mix Radio is the station I'm on Saturdays that I go there because there's lots of people on there, so it's fun. As opposed to Dune and Bob Show, which I do that in my own room. And there's a few people come in. I get featured, which is fun because you get to pretend there's actually people watching when they're actually just coming into the room then going somewhere else. But you know what? It's the little things in life. I mean, much like you guys, I'm sure the majority of who we listen to us are actually on the NHB streams themselves or the podcasts that pick up. We've moved into a podcast world, unfortunately.
Oh, I know, and we've had the station up for a little over a year now, and we came on a Twitch at the beginning of January 1st, actually, and our 1 year anniversary was February 11th.
Too long.
We're on, like I said, several audio feeds. We're on Live 365, TuneIn Radio, iTunes, Internet Radio, and we have our own app. So all that. So everything else is audio. Only one video site. I used to work in radio many years ago in the late 80s, early 90s, when I lived in California in the Bay Area. So
you had no competition there at all, right?
Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of competition.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I didn't work actually in San Francisco. I did work in the Bay Area, and one of our biggest competition radio station was in San Francisco. We were at Hot 97.7, and our biggest competition was 106 KMEL. And they were huge, but huge. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, that's kind of that's the whole thing. I never actually got into it professionally, other than doing some voiceover work. And I was kind of typing to you last night, but I was also kind of drunk too, so I'm not sure what I typed. So let me slide on.
No, I won't repeat it.
Yeah, they won't repeat it there. Yeah, but the whole thing for me, it started in high school. My high school back in the late 70s, early 80s actually had a radio station, and that's where it started. I got into that, and I was pumped. I was like, this is great. This is what I want to do. This is fun. There's cool people. There's hot chicks. Hot chicks. It was great. We did the announcements at school, so we had it was really fun. And what saved me, and I mean, thank God it did. What saved me was the people that were seniors when I was a sophomore actually went and moved on and started getting jobs in radio stations, and I kept in touch with them, and I kept realizing it didn't take long that I realized there was this recurring theme, and the recurring theme was, they'd be at a radio station, man, it's the greatest ever. I'm meeting all these people, all these girls. It's just great. Oh man. And next thing you know, they're at a different radio station. Oh, that other place sucked. Oh my God. It just, and it was this recurring theme over and over. They'd work somewhere, they'd leave, the other place immediately sucked ass. I mean, it was like the worst place in the world. And I was like, And then I think the icing on the cake is when I found out that you could make up to and including $6 an hour if you were really good, or something. It was, it was so sad. I was like, no, I can't, this is not going to work. So I kind of gave it up. And I would it would kind of re-enter my life here and there, just little things. I'd have people say, "Hey, we're having a party. Can would you come on?" I go, "Man, I don't know." And we'd go rent equipment and do a party somewhere. Just somebody had either a wedding or whatever. It was really fun. And then it kind of it'd fade out, or somebody said, "Hey, can you come over and read something for me?" Yeah, okay. I'd go over and read something for somebody. and for the guys that I was still friends with. And then all of a sudden, boom, the internet comes around. And they got this amazing thing called internet radio. And then from then it was just like a downhill plunge. And here I am. So that's what my midlife crisis is in front of you as we speak. This is me.
And you figured out now what type of car is it you could have bought?
I could have had well, back when I actually did that bit, I did the math and I could have had a brand new Corvette for all the crap I had bought over the years from internet radio.
At this point, are you up to a Rolls Royce?
No,
yet,
no, I'm up to a nicer Corvette is what I'm up to. I've actually kind of got to the point where I stopped buying, because there was a time there. I mean, it was like no, I was like, oh, I gotta have one of these Electro Voice. I gotta have one of these mics like I used years ago. And next thing, well, I can't just have one. Bob's got to have one, so I get one for Bob. And I go, well, what if we have a guest? I gotta have a mic for a guest. And then I end up with 4 of these things. I end up selling all but the one. That's what I had when I was trying to fix up that damn house to sell it. That sucked. So now I still have the mics. They're just not with me anymore. They're over at Vamp's house. Vamp has all my mics. That's always fun. People watch his show and go, "Hey, you got some great mics there." I'm going like, "Fucker." Oh God. Yeah. Be nice to my mics, man. Oh well. I kept Old Glory here, the original. But yeah, that's the whole thing. And then the whole music thing, actually, the guy, well, you can't, I mean, unless you're watching on the stream. The guy in the green shirt,
this guy.
Yeah,
over here.
That guy there, front and center. That guy right there. Yeah, that guy was the one that was responsible for getting me into music, because he was doing a Saturday night show and playing music and drinking beer. Right. And I thought, how hard could it be? You play some music, you drink some beer. It sounds. You know what? I have music and I have beer. And I got all the crap to do the show with. So how hard can it be? And it was actually, I should dig out my first show I ever did. It was interesting. It was a lead up to Johnny was doing a show late Saturday night. And so I would do a show. Was it 1 hour or 2 hours before yours? 2, right?
Yeah, something like that. I forget
2 hours
exactly.
And my very first show, I'm going through and I'm queuing up music, and I'm queuing up music, old school Dune. I had back when I was in the radio station. We actually had the mixer. We had when you hit the cue button, it would actually mute the channel.
Yes.
Modern mixers don't do that.
They don't.
So here I am. I'm queuing music, and I'm getting intro times. Yeah, and this is going out over the air. And Johnny's like, wow, Dune really sucks at this, because in his mind, he thinks I'm trying to mix a beat here. No, I'm just trying to catch how much time is in between the next song. And oh yeah, it's like and finally he's like, Dune, do you mean for that to come out over there? I'm like, what are you speaking of? I'm like, oh my God, all that time I thought it was muting the channel. So yeah, there was. Yeah,
of course, it's like on the last song of the show where it's like, "Hey, Dune." By the way,
yeah. I've been doing this for 2 hours now, and then Johnny, my good friend Johnny, breaks that out there. Wow,
it's like, yeah, the show was really great, but just one question.
Yeah, just curious. Do you mean to have the coming over the? No. Oh my God. So yeah, that was.
I've done.
Yes, I think everybody's done that, but yeah, I was watching a guy on a stream, and it was that's one thing too about Twitch is kind of fun is they're not only English speaking DJs, they're from all over the place, and I think this guy sounded like he was German, and he was he's like he's working it, man, and he goes and it just jumps into another song, and he has this shocked look on his face. And then he puts his hand on his head. And what I have to give the guy credit, because he just shuts everything down and gets quiet. Said something in German, which I'm pretty sure was, wow, I just effed that up. And then took off into another song. So I thought that was pretty cool. That made me watch him for 20 more minutes. just because of that right there.
It's funny. I worked with a guy at a Walmart that used to work in radio. And he had some interesting stories. the first story that came to mind with talking about this was, I guess it was someone he knew or someone, and this story would never happen in modern times because, well, first of all, this requires having at least a 3-speed turntable in the radio station you're working at. And I guess someone was going to fill in for a show, and the guy was like, well, here's some records you can play if you don't have any material or whatever for the show. And so he, whatever. It's like the graveyard shift or whatever. So,
Yes.
Okay, I'll cue up one of these records. Cues up one of the record, he plays it. It sounds pretty darn boring, but whatever. It's 3 a.m. Who cares? And at some point, halfway through the set of records, he realized it was a set of 78s, and he'd been playing them at 33 the whole time.
But Johnny, to be fair though, we've tested that theory with you several times. Johnny actually is an avid record collector, and he collects 78s, and there are some 78s out there that if you either if you slow the 78 down, or if you take a 33 and speed it up, you can actually make it to a whole new person. We found out, which is kind of fun. Well, not quite like that.
Now it's even more unintelligible.
Yeah, that's a little different. That one's more obvious. That sounds more like Dune queuing a record live on the air. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, that does. It sounds exactly.
That would be it. But yeah, so I learned my lesson there, and then from then on, it was actually pretty good. I actually started having fun with it and got more comfortable with it, and then it's just never stopped. It's been my Saturdays ever since. So it's been fun, because that was the whole thing. Is now, as I say, now this is what gets me. I was thinking back to the early days of the 5-hit show. I don't know why, but there was like a few weeks where it was like I would buy 6 beers and try to have them gone in those 2 hours, and that was not a good idea, because it became the last song was the 5-hit with blah, blah, blah show. Is what it was. I realized, so I was like, back it off a little bit, kind of bring it down to some nice calm level. And then it wasn't so bad.
Then you do a show with me, and all rules about beer go out the window.
Back to that again.
The show.
Yeah, there was like 2 guys going like, and it's like, thank God that the bed is right there. Right there. I don't have to go too far. But you know what? Last night I was proud of myself. Last night I drank Johnny style, drank the beer, filled the glass full of water, drank the water. Boom! It was cool.
And how many times you had to get up to pee in the middle of the night?
Yes. There, I'll just
that is one downside to doing it that way.
That's right. Hey, Ace fans in the room, how you doing? But yeah, that was fun stuff. But anyway, I felt better this morning. It wasn't quite so bad, because there's been those nights where I would drink like that and then not eat or have any water before I went to sleep, and then the next day there's like 3 little men inside your head going goonga, 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 which nobody likes.
No, nobody likes those guys.
Nobody likes the goonga guys. Those damn guys. But anyway, yeah. So you are getting lots more shows. You're getting Twilight's going to be on yours. Twilight Andy's going to be on there. What day is he going to do now? By the way,
he's going to start on the 7th. And it's going to be Wednesdays. He's only going to do a 2-hour show, but he's going to come on before Shy. That's 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay.
And then Shy will come on at 6. And I'm trying to see if I can get him to move and do a show with more hours. We've got me, Shy. We've got the Yeti. We've got Mad Mike on Mondays at noon, and now. Of course, Andy, Twilight FM, he's coming in, and so I would like to get more people on the air. Is what I'm trying to do. I'm really
absolutely.
Trying to
I was going to say it's nice when you can get you can, and that's the whole thing, just kind of getting the word out, and that's what I was hoping people might listen and be able to get a hold of you, because there is a lot of people out there that do things that just don't think about trying to do it, for an actual audience. There we go.
Well, a lot of the guys who actually want to do it want to get paid for it. So.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Good luck with that.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
Believe me, I tried that for years with Damon that used to own this station. I used to wait for my W-2. I would say, Damon, I still didn't get my W-2, man. Come on, what's going on? And it never came all this time. So we tried and tried and tried. Yeah, you know what? It's like you have to want to do. This is, like I said, this is what keeps us out of the bars. That's what I tell people. It's one of those things. I could be somewhere. I'm old. Well, actually, I say go to the bars. I'm old enough. I could be somewhere playing bingo, or I could be doing this. And I choose I choose this kind of thing.
Well, take your remote setup and play bingo and do this at the same time.
Yeah, that's something we haven't done yet. That was from the early days of the Dune and Bob Show, the actual first Bob. This is Johnny, by the way. He's not Bob. Dune and Bob Show is Bob's. Actually, we've realized that now Johnny has actually been on longer. Johnny has been Bob longer than Bob was Bob.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Actually.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, what it was, I have too much invested in the show itself, the show name. So screw it. Johnny is now Bob. But so that's what it is.
Well, you own the Dune and Bob domain, so you can't change the name of the show.
You can't do that. You have to leave it the same as it is.
You couldn't register a new domain name. I mean, you still have Mozart's Ghost.
Yeah, I still own that.
Show Mozart's Ghost.
That was one of my first shticks. Is back when I was single and had expendable cash all over the place. That was my fun thing. Is how many domains can I buy and then maintain?
All of them.
I had all of them. I said, how many do you have? Doing all of them. I still have some cool ones though. I still have Mozart'sGhost.com, which I really thought was going to pay me something someday. I was really hoping that damn movie with the hot chick, what's her name, the Net would be, yeah, her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I would be able to bank some money off of that, but no, nobody's ever offered to buy it. So I still got it. If anybody wants it, though, it points to the Dune and Bob Show is where it points, I think. I think it points to the DuneandBobShow.com or it points to NHB Radio. It points to somewhere in there. But
it points to NHB Radio.
Yeah. And I had comedy. I had comedy internet radio. I don't know if I still have that or not. I think I might have let that one go. I had Hooters Radio for a while. Why? I don't know. I had what I had that I actually thought was going to get me some money. I probably should have kept. I had Hemi Racing. I actually owned that for a while. And here's the whole thing. If it was cheaper, I'd probably kept on owning, but it just got to the point where it's like every 6 months I was getting these bills, from GoDaddy. I was like, holy shit, what was I drinking when I bought that? Why? Because like there was a time where Damon, the guy who used to be on the station, there was a guy named Russ that was I think was he a drummer, Johnny? I think he was a drummer in Damon's band. And
he sucks. I know that.
Yeah, Russ sucked really bad one night and left Damon out in the snow. Damon's a blind guy, and left him out in the snow waiting for a ride or something like that. So what do you do in a case like that? You go and buy russsucks.com and you put a picture of the guy on it. And and that's your website.
We made our point.
Wow.
Yeah, that's So to don't piss me off, man. Be like, no, but that was a little fun, more fun back then. Let's see. As Venison writes in on Twitter, says listening to hosts screw up is all part of the fun, especially tech problems with Johnny. Wow.
Oh, hey,
wow. Venison just went there on you, man. He just went there.
Speaking of tech problems,
yes.
I had an interesting show this past week.
Yes, you did. Johnny did his Monday. Let's move all the stuff from the studio into the living room. What could go wrong show? That's what you should call it.
Wow.
There's your new name.
Yeah,
that's a long ass name, though. That's a long name.
Let's review now, because I've tried to do a bit of streaming in the living room because I've had thoughts of getting into video game streaming and checking out what's going on with Twitch and trying to figure that out. And for one thing, I found that most video game streamers are not very tech savvy people, so they developed software for them that makes absolutely no sense.
Yes.
I actually emailed someone like, why did you put that setting there and make it so that I have to turn two things on and the second thing is not intuitive? He's like, well, we did have it that way, but we got too many complaints from people that didn't understand where it was.
Oh.
So then train them.
That's right. Yeah. There's like one person that complains. They say people complain.
I mean, there's making your software idiot-proof, and then there's making your software so no intelligent human can use it.
That's right.
And that's what video game streaming.
So wait, if I want to turn this up, I have to turn that one down. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not even what I was trying to do. So every time I try to set something up in the living room, some unexpected problem comes up, and I end up getting nowhere and screaming at all my wires. And wires don't respond to screaming, but I'm telling you, there's a fire this summer that's going to have some audio cables in it. They'll respond to that. So,
that's right.
Yeah, they'll learn. They will learn.
You know what you could do if you just move your show ahead 30 minutes. Just say it starts at 6:30, and then you'll have all your shit straightened up by 7.
Well, here's what happens. So I had Monday off this past Monday. So I had all day to plan this out. So, I mean, I got a piece of paper, pen, plotted out charts. I basically decided, let's make this show as simple as possible because, you know, I keep on trying. Let's not do any video game capturing. Let's not use any capture devices. Let's just, I got my computer. I got my mixing board. The wires in the mixing board all connect into the cable that plugs into the back of the computer, so I just disconnect that. The mixing board is on wheels, so there we go. Wheel the mixing board over there, shut down the computer, move the computer over there, plug into the HDMI and the TV, take the wireless mouse and keyboard, set up the webcam, you know, set up a mic for Kristen.
Easy peasy, big Mac boom.
Get Dune's headphone splitter that he got me and set up, and it should just be that simple. And so
this is what was planned out in your mind. This was the plan. This was plan A. Right.
So we finished.
Plan B.
Yep. Plan B was the show went on a half hour late. But I turned everything on. The computer, you know, spins up. Fans are spinning. Lights are blinking. So I think everything's normal. I'm connecting mics and setting things up, and the board's looking good. And I got my mix. Okay. Kristen wanted to use her headset, but I can't make the mic on her headset plug into this board because, you know, wires, adapters, things like that. So here, use this mic. We'll just use that as headphones. And so I switch the TV on to the HDMI input that the video card output is on, and the TV's telling me no signal. Okay. Well, maybe the video card decided to use the DVI output and ignore the HDMI output. I got a DVI to HDMI adapter. You want to use that output? Fine. You use that output. I'll just move. No signal. No signal. No signal? No signal. Okay. All right. You went with the display port. I see what you did there. All right. Display port to DVI adapter. Put the DVI adapter to the HDMI adapter onto there. So now, you know, adapter into an adapter. What can go wrong? No signal. And I'm going fucking nuts. You know, restarting the computer. No signal. No signal. No signal. And I'm like, fuck. It's
and in between that, he's actually tweeting that out. F. That's, then you can tell when they
because people are watching my Twitter, waiting for me to go on. Like my co-hosts are waiting for like the link to connect.
They're like, usually Johnny's here by now. I don't
all I did was take the same setup I use every week and moved it over a room. And also, so then I get to the point where I'm bringing the tower back into my room to connect it all back up like it was before, and I still got no video. So I'm like, fucking TV fried my video card. What the fuck? So that's okay. I got a secondary computer built with old parts next to me that has a video card in it that works perfectly fine. So I take that video card out. I put it into the slot. No video. Okay.
The plot thickens.
All right, that's okay. I got 2 or 3 different video card slots on this motherboard. We'll just move it over. It fried the slot.
I wasn't ready for that. Can you say the no video part again?
No video. What?
There we go. Sorry, I was a little slow on the draw there.
So no matter what slot and what video card I'm using, I'm getting no video signal to come out of anything on this computer, yet it still powers up and lights blink as if it is booting up to my Windows startup screen. But no video signal, nothing from the BIOS, nothing from the Windows startup, no video, different video cards, different slots. So I'm like, what in the... I mean, maybe the motherboard got fried, but I wouldn't expect it to act as if it's working, but without video, you know? So finally at some point, you know, I'm hooking things back up, moving things back where they were, because at this point the show's not going to happen, I'm thinking. And, you know, I take the, you know, USB dongle for the keyboard mouse out of the front USB port, and I plug it into the extender cable that's on my desk where I had it. And, you know, I try one more time to turn on the computer, and Windows login screen.
Oh, that was my
the damn
sorry
front.
Sorry. There we go.
Yeah. The front USB port has an issue that if you try to use it, everything works perfectly fine except for video in any capacity. So,
yeah, what can go wrong?
What? That was not confusing at all.
Yes.
So, okay, all right. Here's the thing. In the course of this night, I hard powered off this computer 50 times in the course of trying to turn it off and on without having any video working. So I'm like, right, Windows startup screen, great. All right, so don't use the front port. Let's move this back into the living room. Mixing board's still over there. We can save this. We could get started just in time because I was planned to have an hour of pre-show. So it's like, well, fuck pre-show. We'll just, we got material. We don't need pre-show because we got this story to tell. So
that's exactly right.
Move force the computer off like I did 50 times already in the course of this night. Disconnect things. Don't use the front port. Get the dongle on one of the back ports. Move it over to the next room. Hook everything up. Power it on. Unable to find any boot device.
Oh man!
Fucking hard drive corrupted the 51st time I powered off the computer.
That's right.
I actually had to restore that hard drive, even though if I hooked it up as a secondary drive, the data and the folders are still there. It would not boot to that drive until I ran a restore for my backup. And the 51st time you power it down, that's when it just fucks the drive. So, but luckily I still had my Windows.
So there is a number we know. It's just it's like 49, 50. Effed.
51. Yeah.
Right, effed. Right
yeah.
There.
So yeah. But it just was like really all these times I hard powered off and on, and then it's working, and I move to the next room. That's the one time you decide, hey, let's just fuck your hard drive. But luckily since I migrated to Windows 10, I kept my Windows 7 install disk to have around if I needed to grab some stuff from that old install. So I just threw that drive back in, booted up, and used that. So the show actually went on a half hour late. But yeah, so every time that room, everything that could go wrong.
There's something about that room. It's haunted.
And yet I'm going to try this again tomorrow.
Of course you will. Of course you will, Johnny. Of course you will.
Well, it's not about Windows 10. I had a problem with Windows 10 every time. Recently, the updates would go to about 82, my computer would freeze. 82, computer would freeze.
Oh, that's a feature.
It would freeze.
Yeah, that's the feature. That's the feature.
Well, it's great. Yeah, it's a great feature because it would just freeze. I'd have to reboot it. So I reboot. They don't go back. They would go to recovery mode, and it would download and reload the last version of Windows 10. And I did this daily. It was starting to do it daily. So I decided, okay, well, it's time to revert to Windows 7. So I shut Windows 7 back. I haven't had a sense. I'm convinced Windows 10 is possessed.
Yeah, it's almost as good. It's almost as good as my Skype right now. That's going.
Yeah, we got a bit of a connectivity issue there. But what I gathered, you had a Windows 10 update that went wrong that put you in an infinite loop, and that sucks.
That's always makes for good fun.
Yeah.
Well, I did. It was in a loop, and it was just 82% of the updates it freezes. I reboot the computer, it goes into recovery mode. It downloads updates, the last version of Windows 10, and then it started doing more than once daily. Right in the middle of some boom, there goes the updates.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This is ridiculous.
All right, well, I tell you what, like I said,
unfortunately,
yeah, we caught about half.
Go ahead,
but yeah, unfortunately, this, like I said, the Skype connection. I don't know if it's like hating me now. Johnny's going to have to go tweet some F's out. But listen, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. And don't forget, I will plug the state. Like it's the hit. I should just go. Let me just go to that damn station.
It's www.that
Hit radio
station.
that works. Hit radio. WURX. There we go.
WURX.
Yeah, I got it right this time. Here.
Hit radio WURX.
I got a good feature that I can actually go to my Mac. So there it is, actually playing right there. So there it is. For the people on the screen, I got you live on there, and you see they're on air, and they're on listen now. And by the way, 365, I had no idea 365 was still around. No idea.
Well, Live 365 actually went away because what was happening was the royalties really screwed that up for them, and they went away. Then they came back, and they're still offering royalties type thing. So we went Live 365, and that also got us to the TuneIn Radio, and then we also went with iTunes Internet Radio for those who are on iTunes.
Yep, all those cool people on iTunes. Wow. So there you go. So there.
Yeah, like you. There you go. Just like you. There.
That's right.
That's right. Because you have a Mac, so you understand.
Yes, exactly. So there you go. Go to that station and check it out. There's, like I said, there's lots of good stuff playing. And the only thing I did notice that I can here I go. I have to leave you with a critique. Is there's no actual schedule on their page. I would love to see a schedule.
Actually, well, if you gotta, unfortunately, you gotta go to each one of those to get the schedel.
See, you're making it too hard for me.
Or if you look, or if you scroll up a little bit, scroll up.
Okay, I'm there. Of course, you're watching. You're watching on delay, yeah.
No. When you scroll up, okay, you'll see right there everything's switching. The schedule's actually right there.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Down here, it's actually going through this. Well, when you get a full boat of shows, it'll be a little crazy. But no, it's a great state. I love the splash screen. And by the way, I don't know who you're using for your provider on this, but it ports over to the mobile device really well, which is actually pretty cool.
Well, for the website, it's Wix. I don't know if you've heard of Wix, WIX.
I haven't. I need to check into that though, because like I said, the one we're using sucks. So the NHB one's the NHB.net Nuke, I think, is what we're using. It's not bad actually, but it's still, it's one of those.
The one who put all the website together and put everything together was Yeti. So Mike,
okay,
and he does all our graphics and everything else.
There we go. So that's cool. All right, so go check them out. And like I said, hopefully, maybe sometime we'll see if their Saturday person calls in sick. Maybe you get to hear Dune on there. We'll see what happens.
Wait, you're actually talking to the Saturday person.
Oh, so when you're sick, there we go.
You know who to call to fill in.
That's right. You're like, Dune, I'm not feeling good. Yeah, be one of those things. Yeah, because see, that's what makes it interesting. Is you guys? I'm guessing you and Shy are both California cats, right? Or at least on that time zone.
I'm originally from California, and I actually live in Washington now. Shy lives in Oregon.
Okay, well, you guys always refer to California time, which is different. I'm so used to everything being Eastern time. That's what our lives have been for as long as we've been on internet.
Well, if you look at the schedules, though, they do actually show the Pacific time and the Eastern time on them.
There we go. For us people that don't do the math very well. There we go.
You see, Sunday is that thing with Rich Appel.
There we go.
By the way,
Keytronic says he recommends WordPress.
Rich Appel, that's a syndicated show, is what it is.
Okay.
So we do that every Sunday at noon.
Gotcha. All right. Well, listen, man. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate you and I'll be in touch. We'll get something.
Right,
we'll get something figured out. And like I said, thanks for calling in. And don't forget, there's live shows on every night on HB when people are on. That's my catch.
All right, guys, take care. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
So there you go. And then boom. I hang right up on him.
We're done.
Yeah, that's
no. You told him, and he said goodbye.
Well, he was going to say he wanted to say goodbye one more time, and I screwed it up. So there we go. Finish. What? No, I want to finish. It won't
sometimes
let me
finish. You ever notice that sometimes people lose count of how many times they've already said goodbye?
Yes, it happens at work constantly.
Yes. Someone needs to hang up at some point.
Yeah, at some point you're going like, because otherwise it sounds like that creepy, boyfriend girlfriend thing. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up. No, it's not.
You hang up.
It just got weird, Johnny. It just got weird. Hey, D to the V is in the room. I would love to know the background on that name. That's pretty cool. D to the V. That makes me want to rap, and I'm not going to do it because I'm in my mid-50s and it would sound sad. There. So anyway.
Ah, jeez.
Back to the fun. Yeah,
Back to the fun.
any one of the other chat rooms, I just saw somebody type, "Oh my God, no, don't rap." This is. I don't know if you can see. This is the. Let me bring this up. This is what I look at. This actually might be kind of cool because it might do that weird thing where it goes back because it's showing. Yeah, it does. There it goes. Look at it. We can watch it just kind of like multiply itself.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. But this is what I'm looking at. Of course, you can't see from all the crap around there. I got all this garbage on the screen. It goes on forever and ever and ever. So yeah, it gets fun on the Saturday shows, trying to keep track, because that's what happens is somebody will type in a chat room and I won't realize it until I go, oh God, there's something actually typed up there and I should probably go look at it and then I miss it. But back to the whole thing on the Twitch thing, it was so. And I don't know how to say this nicely. And if you're a person on Twitch, not these guys, but the ones that I said, I was kind of starting to go there. The ones that do the like techno trance kind of stuff. That's just really, I like dance music. I just don't like that kind of dance music. And there's the guys that are doing that, like I said, and they're just, they actually have people watching them. And it just makes me go like, maybe I'm really wasting my time, because if nobody wants to watch, the old guy play songs and talk in between them, maybe it's time to get the rocking chair out and do something. I don't know. it just gets like
doing, if you want to rock, but do it while doing your show. You could get
I never thought about that.
You could get a rocking chair.
I could rock and
you could do your show.
I could rock and do the show at the same time. I never thought about that. That's a great idea. There should be. I bet there's a song out there for that. I'll just have to go find it.
Ain't nothing wrong with a rocking chair,
You know what? Writing that shit down. From Johnny. That's all. I like that. Ain't. And ain't, by the way, you can use now because it's in the dictionary, I think people say.
Yeah.
Ain't.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. No, that's a different song. Wrong. With a rocking chair. Chair. C-H-A-I-R. There we go. Boom. Done. Instant. This is what happens. For the people who don't know, the people are just now tuning in, I've got about a bazillion of these notes, and they all go in this drawer that now has 2 zillion notes in it. And sometime, if Johnny outlives me, his job will be to come through here and figure out what the hell I wrote. Because first of all, it's written in really, my hand, I broke my hand years ago, so I don't write really well. And my writing sucked before I broke my hand. But I also have a way of, I also write in a unknown form of language called Dunanese.
Now, is there a good story there with you breaking your hand, or?
It's a great story that you'll never hear. It's a great story.
You cannot tease us like that, dude. I
cannot tell that story. I cannot tell that story.
Why not?
Because there's 2 stories. There's a story. There's the true story, and then there's the true story that was embellished a little bit to not sound quite so true.
Okay. Well, let's start with the embellished and then work our way back.
I don't
to the
think
truth.
we need to do this on this show. I don't think this is. I don't think in this juncture. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to really figure out in my mind if the statute of limitations have actually passed or not. I may have to go and check this out first before I find out.
Do we need to get some legal advice?
I may have to get some legal advice. Can we still get a hold of Rye? Is he still around for legal advice? Hey, Ban's in a room. That's funny. Ban's in a room. Has Ban ever been banned from a room? Just wondering. Not that I would ever ban. I'm not going to ban, but I just wonder if Ban has ever been banned. And he says greetings. He obviously sounds like a nice person. So, and the dogs like Ban.
Yeah,
you can hear them. That's them saying yes or hi. Now Ban says yes. So, is that yes? You have been banned, or yes, you're not. Oh, he's been banned two times.
Back to the topic at hand.
Yes.
Now, what year did this occur?
This would be about 10 plus years ago, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, right. over 10 years ago.
Okay, all right. And what's the nature of the crime so I can look up the statute of limitations?
Well, I don't know if there's an actual crime, especially now that we were just featured. I'm not sure if I want to talk about a crime per se. The dog, I have my dogs back here saying, "Dune, don't talk about it. Don't say it."
But it might have been a crime of passion, and that's okay, right?
I don't like that you're starting to put this web together. This bothers me. This bothers me just a little bit. Okay. Here's heck. Well, let me tell you about first of all. Here's I broke my hand right in this area. Right in here. I had to have pins put in, and my hand was jacked up for a long. Don't you remember that? You were in NHB back then. You were around. I don't know if you remember me having a cast on my hand all the time because
I don't remember that.
I broke my hand and I had to have all the stuff done. I had to go through surgery.
I don't always pay attention to details. You'd think I would miss something like that.
So I was going,
be surprised at the things I miss.
Hand. You know what? Well, I'll tell you what you miss. You miss the use of your right hand is what you miss. But what happened? I had what they called I'm doing quote marks, boxer's fracture is what they call it. They call it a boxer's fracture because lots of times boxers get the fracture because they hit somebody and they don't do it correctly, so they fracture their hand while boxing. And that's what they call it.
I know it's using some quote marks.
You could also say fall and land on your hand and get the same effect.
But that's not what happened to you.
Well, that's what everybody else thought happened to me. But that's here nor there. That was the story. Maybe my parents got told. Because I could have fell and landed on my hand. My hand landed on something, and it broke. And
someone ran into your hand really fast.
That could have happened too. There could have been some,
somewhere out there, someone had an imprint of your knuckles on them.
I was standing there going like, I was trying to point at something and it was cold out. That's it. Okay, here it is. It was cold outside and I had my hand closed pointing at something. I was going like, yeah, you just take the highway right over there. And this guy wasn't paying attention. He ran right into my hand there. That's the story. I like that story. We're going to go with that one.
So we're not getting a real story, is what you're saying here.
That could be the story. That could be the story. So
the real story is in between the lines somewhere there.
Somewhere between the lines, there was a person that ran into my hand, and I just have to leave it at that because I'm not proud of it. It's not one of those things. I'm not a people that goes and brags about people running into their hands.
No, no. I mean, we've all had our moments.
Yeah,
just look at my Twitter feed.
Yes, Johnny's had lots of people run into his hands, except at his case, he has a typewriter in it. There's your picture for you. Whack.
There was. I'll tell a story, and this is. I've told the story before. It took place at a White Castle parking lot because, of course, it did.
All great fights start at White Castle.
Yeah. Well, this is the one and only time I threw a punch because I'm generally not a violent person, and I know enough to know that I don't know how to fight, even if I was a violent person. And so I'm hanging out with my friends. Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. He was all great fights start at the White Castle.
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry.
Okay.
I was a little slow on the draw there again.
So me, Rob, and Doug, we were like the Three Musketeers in high school, and yet not one of us speaks to one another anymore. Go figure that out.
Yeah. Let's diagram that one on a spreadsheet.
That didn't happen until many years later in college.
Gotcha.
But we all went our separate ways at college, stayed in touch on summers, and then they decided that Johnny, he ain't right. And but anyways... Robert was Genocide Rob. He was co-hosting with me for a while, and we all know how that one tits up. He actually moved out to L.A. recently, going to try to get serious about his movie career, so keep an eye out for that. I'm sure he'll be using the name Genocide Rob, so
absolutely.
He's so proud
and if you see him,
of his history on my show.
If you say, hey, yo, do you know a guy named Johnny? And then be careful because you might run into his fist, possibly.
Let me tell you, Genocide Rob don't even use the name Robert or any form of Robert.
Oh, he's like totally written that off. He's like Genocide Rob is now known as Tony.
Yeah,
I hope that's not the name he's using, by the way.
No, not
Okay,
Tony.
okay.
But and as a special courtesy to him, I won't blow that name out there. But anyways, yeah. So and mind you, he's like a black belt in karate. Not generally not the guy you want to throw punches at. He goes to the gym regularly. Like one time he's like, you need to come with me to the gym. Let's go to the gym. And I'm all about not always doing what I want to do, but I'm all about trying to find something that we would both enjoy doing.
You would go hang out with the bros. You just didn't really want to go hang out with the bros, is what you're saying.
Right.
Gotcha.
You know, because I'm not an exercise person. Whatever. I'll go for a walk now and then, but I got a car to borrow your joke.
That's right.
But anyways. But you know, he'd be like, well, we always do what you want to do. I'm like, well, what's something you'd want to do that I'd also want to do? Or what's something we'd both want to do? Because that's generally how we have a good time. And he's like, well, so finally he harped on this so much. I'm like, fine, let's go to the gym. We'll go to the gym and we'll go to the gym. And I figure he's got a membership. He's got this all covered or whatever. And we get there and he's like, you got money, right? I'm like, what? He's like, well, it costs this much to get. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm going to the gym and I have to pay for this?
Got to pay money to go to the gym. That's right.
And this sounds like a certain level of stupidity on my part. You know, why would I expect to just be able to walk into a gym for free and start using their equipment? But I thought that he, you know, had like some type of guest feature with a membership or something. And I'm like, oh, hell fuck no. I ain't paying to have the worst day of my life.
What could go wrong?
Why would I pay for the misery of being at a gym I don't want to be at?
Please, sir, can I go and be bored? There we go. That
yeah.
was my little
So,
play on.
but that's not the story. So me, Doug, Robert are hanging out, and Robert had crashed his car. He was working at the Kmart, and him and some of the other guys they do some vroom vroom and, you know, see who could get to the light at the entrance and exit of the parking lot first.
Because why not? Because it was a slow Tuesday. That's exactly why.
Because Robert's, you know, 1988 Chevy Cavalier is just the car for racing, and
that's right. Hold me back.
Yeah. I remember the one time we found out that if you do accidentally spill a big gulp in the car, it will slosh around the floor the whole rest of the night.
That's nice to know. At least so it was watertight. Or at least,
it was watertight.
Big gulp pop tight there. Totally different thing.
It was liquid tight. For you know, big soft drinks. But no. So now Robert went on the whole night about how because it was his grandparents' car, so he's got to explain the dent, because he keeps on pointing out in the story that he had the right of way because he was approaching the light straight on, and the other car that was trying to race him there was coming from the side.
Oh, I didn't realize there was rules in drag racing in the parking lot. I'm glad to know that there's that sanctioning body out there, you know, just in case you have to do that.
So in his mind, he didn't have to be careful because he had the right of way. He could just keep going straight and not worry about having to slam on the brakes. That's what that guy's has to do.
That was his job.
I got the right of way.
There we go. So he had lane choice in the parking lot race, is what you're saying.
He was,
in case there's some drag racers out there, I want to throw the lingo out there for you.
It wasn't a formal race. It was a case of he was going to the light, the other car was coming to the side to go to the light, and they start speeding up because they're going to, and you know, they know each other. They work together. This
was an ad hoc impromptu race, basically.
Right. This was I'm going to get there I'm going to get there. No, I'm going to get there. And he was like, I've got the right of way, so he has to slow down. And
but the other guy didn't read the book, right? Is that what
it turns out that there was a third option there, which was no one slows down.
Yes,
and the cars come to an abrupt stop,
and we get fender dentage after that. Is what happens.
Yeah. So every time we went over a bump, the tire was scraping on the indentation was left. No, not.
Hey, Merlin came in the room over on iVlog. How you doing, man? But yeah, that's always, I always call it a John race. That's the way the old John was. Every stoplight was a race, no matter who you were. You could be, you know, hot guy in a Corvette, or you could be 93-year-old lady in a, you know, Coupe de Ville. That's who you raced.
I think John and Genocide Rob would get along.
They probably would.
Yeah,
they probably would.
Because, like I said, we were in the, 1980-something Chevy Cavalier that Adam Sandler wrote a song about. And every stoplight, we would rev the engine, and someone would probably rev the engine back, and the light would turn green, and we'd see them off in the distance there. And the whole rest of the night was trying to find that car because the race is still on. We could still beat them.
That's right. This is one of those. I like this. This is sort of like, instead of having, who wants this boring quarter mile stuff? This happens over the course of the evening.
I mean,
I like this.
I mean, when you rev your engine at a stoplight, there's no finish line established. So how do you really know who won the race?
That's true. Because I know back in the day, that's what it was when we used to do our street racing. It's like, it's whoever won in front of the biggest crowd. That was usually the goal.
Yeah,
one of those things. But yeah, with John, it didn't matter. John, like I said, John, I tell you what, there was times with John, I was like, dude, you need to pull over and let me out. Because it's like, I mean, seriously, be like, what are you doing? She's 92. It's like, not going to get in front of me. I mean, he was he also had this one thing. It's like there was different kinds of lane changes in the world. And I'm talking about moving from like the right lane to the left lane, the right one, that kind of thing. The wrong way to do it is the way most normal people do it, is where you put your turn signal on and then you move over to the next lane. And I know that sounds crazy. That's just wacky talk.
That gives away your next move in road.
No. No, if in John's world, if everybody's head in the car did not do this, that means he would reset back to the lane he was in and do it again. That's what he did. Because until he got that visual satisfaction of everybody in the car, doing that number, then he knew he did it right. That's how John was. And then, so we got to the point where even if you didn't go, you would just fake it. Because we don't want him to go hopping back into the, because
we don't need this.
No, because the next time is not going to be a John. It's going to be pissed off John lane change.
Yeah,
so totally different. Totally.
Right,
okay, you know what? Merlin says he'd love to have a Dodge Charger Hellcat. This may be John. Merlin may be John. Merlin, are you that guy? Is every stoplight a drag race and every lane change a? There, for the people on the radio that don't get what is, I'm moving my head from one side to the other, and it really hurts when you do that.
Where did you? How did you end up meeting up with John?
Work.
Where did
work?
He
worked with me.
You still work with John?
Oh no. Long ago, haven't worked together, but yeah, that's he worked with me.
I see.
He was that guy. He actually lived in Ark City, which was about an hour drive from Wichita.
Okay.
So he was making an hour drive each way, and Johnny's like, really? This is
okay.
Yeah. Right. Johnny's like, only an hour. That's it. Only an hour. Yeah. No, but so that's what it was. Is he ended up being my room. Whoa, scared me. Dog attacked my hand there. He ended up being my roommate, and that's how we got to be friends.
I see.
I was a single dude with a house. He was a freshly single dude with no house.
Single dude.
That's right.
Checking out all the teenage prospects.
Yes, that's exactly what he was. Yeah. Now listen, for you guys out there, hetero Dune, hetero John, not that kind of single dude with a house thing. Just throwing that out there, just so you know. But
so this takes us back to the night that Robert crashed his car, and as most people would be who have a car with a dent in it that belongs to their grandparents that they got to do some splaining when they get it home.
Yes.
He was not in the best of moods, but we know we were still going to hang out because, hey, we had already planned to hang out. It's not like we could do anything about it, and it's not like he was in a rush to go home and do some splaining to his grandparents. But the whole night, he was just as obnoxious as he could be about it. Oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to tell my grandparents? And okay, all right, fair enough. Because this is a friend, and so you want to try to, help him out and be understanding.
I was going to say bros before hoes, but this is a grandmother, and I don't think that is the thing to say. I just don't. I don't think that's appropriate.
Bros be sticking together. So we decided that the best approach here was to claim hit and run. That, like, you were in work all day, you come out to the car after a hard day at work, and there was a dent there. Someone must hit it in the parking lot during the day and just drove off, and you don't know how it happened. That was that was the story he was going with.
That's
and
the
I wasn't
perfect.
gonna go.
I would call that the Animal House, reasoning, because it's like you parked the car out back, and then when you got up the next morning, it was gone.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Exactly.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So don't worry. They're not going to believe. They're never going to believe. Oh, what am I going to tell them? What am I? And you reach a certain point where you can only have the same conversation so many times before you start getting agitated.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I would try to be like, hey, it's going to be okay. Don't worry. And then he started getting pissy with me, being like, well, what do you mean? You can't understand. You don't drive. And because I didn't start driving until a little bit later. I was not good behind a wheel in my first few years. And he's like, you don't understand, you don't drive. It's like, what, I can't understand what it'd be like to the impending doom of explaining something to your parents. I understand. I don't have to drive to understand being upset about something bad happening. And so I was pissed off that so then he'd go right back to, woe is me, I messed up my car and I had to explain to oh, it'll be okay, Robert. What do you know? You don't know anything about it. So I was at the point where I was like, just shut the fuck up.
Yes, it's like STFU, my brother.
Right.
That's
if
right.
you're gonna be like that, just shut the fuck up about it. But what am I gonna do? What am I gonna tell my shut up. We're not talking about that anymore because you don't want to hear anything I have to say about it. So, and we're getting hungry and we're getting grouchy. No one's
there's nothing. There's no good to become of this if you got grouchy, hungry dudes.
So the nearest place
in a crashed car, no less.
Well, no. We took Doug's car. Doug's driving the whole time. So no one who's actually having this argument is driving. Doug's driving, listening to this whole thing, and at some point we get to the White Castle, and Doug kind of takes me aside. He's like, look, could you go a little easy on him? And I'm like, but I've tried to, I've been understanding. I try to help him, but he won't shut up, and he keeps attacking me if I try to talk to him. He goes, look, I know he is being really obnoxious. Believe me. But he just crashed his car. I'm like, I get it, but he's still being an ass.
That's right.
So we're all agitated in the parking lot of the White Castle, and so I don't know what exactly happened, but we're getting ready to go, and then of course I think there's some question of, do we want to eat at White Castle? Oh, White Castle sucks. Hey, we're here. Let's go in and get some damn burgers and get some food in our. And at some point, I was seeing red. And I had fucking had it, and you make that decision that I'm gonna throw a fist at you now. I am going to hit you. You need hitting.
You've been pushed to the point.
Fuck you. Words won't do it anymore.
That's right.
My fist will do it.
Yeah.
And I grabbed my fist. I clenched, and I put every ounce of energy I could into that punch and got him square in the arm. And
that's right there. It's on.
God did my arm hurt for about a week after that. He brushed it off like it was nothing, did some kind of flying spin kick to the stomach that he barely touched me because he knew how to do it in a controlled manner. But I hammed it up like, oh, you kicked me. And we just
not to mention it. Well, you hit me, man. Come on.
Yeah. And so we decided that being that a punch and a kick was thrown, it would probably be in our best interest to not continue hanging out in the parking lot of the White Castle where we started a fight, and to not walk into the White Castle because we don't want to be those guys fighting in the parking lot that are walking in now. So we figured it'd be best to clear out. So
what would have made that situation even better? I'm thinking.
What's that?
Beer. That would have helped so much. That would have calmed you guys down. Things would have been so much better.
Beer is more an amplifier than a relaxant.
It can be.
I mean,
yes, it can
be. If
be.
you're happy, it makes you happier. If you're angry, it makes you angrier.
More angry.
So, beer.
I got to go back through some of the chats in some of the rooms over here. First one says, did you have a fight in a bar? No, it was not in the bar. It was not in a bar. There. It was not. It was not in a bar. That's
wait,
shut up, Johnny.
Wait.
Shut up. It was not. It was
Johnny.
not. It was not in a bar. Johnny. It was not in a bar.
We all caught that.
Yes. This is the point of it. This is right. For God's sake, shut up! There we go. Play that one there. So anyway, and also she says 2 dudes in one apartment. No, it was 2 dudes in a house.
That's completely different.
Completely different thing.
And I mean, well, right. If you open up the cabinets, how many cups did you own?
Well, that's a lot. They were all plastic.
There you go. There you go.
Is that how you tell?
It was not 2 dudes, 1 cup. So
no.
There
There
were plenty of cups.
Yeah, plenty of to go around for everybody. Lots of that.
Yes.
Lots of that.
2 dudes and a lot of cups.
That's right. Can't have too many cups. The only bad part about that is it did take away my zen of being a single guy that I missed. That I didn't have to have a hamper. My hamper was called the washing machine. And I didn't have to fold clothes because my clothes that I needed to wear were in the dryer. And that's where they stayed.
This is logical.
That's right.
Makes complete sense.
You go in, flip the dryer on, fluff, pick out what you want, put it on, boom, go to work. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Come home from work, take dirty clothes off in the washing machine. When the washing machine got to a certain level, boom, soap, turn it on, into the dryer. This was a working thing.
I take. Did you try this with the missus?
It didn't work.
To explain this logical system?
Once I got married, for whatever reason, that whole system just collapsed like a wet taco.
Now, in order for it to collapse, that means you tried it at first.
Well, no, I thought about it because, I think it turned into, are you going to get these clothes out of the dryer? And I think that's where it started. So. Yeah, and that's the one thing that's actually kind of interesting. I don't know. I think I've told you the story before. I am forbidden. I am not allowed to do any of my wife's laundry. I do my own. She does hers.
Well, it's kind of like my yes.
She doesn't like my
laundry.
She doesn't like my system. I don't understand her. I mean, I've said this before. I've got 2 types of laundry.
Well,
it's either clean or it's dirty. That's it. Those are the 2 types.
Which is not to be confused with the 2 types of laundry in college: the dirty and the funky. The dirty can be worn again.
Yeah, the dirty. I never thought about that. No, so in my case, dirty, funky, the same, but all in the one category. They all go. They either get washed or they don't get washed.
This reminds me of another story because I got siblings, and
yes, you do.
Yeah, and if I you know what, I don't know if I want to incriminate the guilty here.
We would not want any guilty incriminating on this show.
Well,
that we don't need.
Dune.
No, we don't need
Dune.
We don't need any incriminating guilty stuff that might come back to haunt somebody later on.
So the parking lot of the bar.
It was not in a bar, Johnny.
Okay,
it was not in a bar.
All right. Well, my brother at some point may have, took to blowing bubbles for a hobby.
The blowing bubbles, yes.
Yeah,
There's lots of people out there right now going like, puff, puff, give. Oh, wait. Wait, what? They just randomly yell that.
And the thing about bubbles is that it could be a sharing experience.
Well, of course. It's puff, puff, give. Yes, that's right.
Right. And so my brother decided to introduce my sister to the act of blowing bubbles. And
because that's what you do. That's what a brother does, right? Wow. This is
so there was some
There's a lot of bubbles going on here, Johnny. There's a lot of bubbles. That's right.
Pass the bubble blower over to you. You blow some bubbles, and we're just gonna sit here and watch some TV. And my brother would get in a mood after blowing bubbles that I should do something nice for Mom. What would be the nicest thing I could do for Mom? Well, she's always yelling about doing laundry. I should do all her laundry. That's a great idea. Oh my God, I got a great idea. I'm going to do all of Mom's laundry for her. And she won't do any laundry this weekend. And so he went and he gathered like every piece of dirty clothing of Mom's he could find and threw it all in the washer, threw all the detergent, and set it to the normal washer mode, and it goes through its cycle. And he takes all the clothes out of the washer, puts all the clothes in the dryer, and puts in the fabric softener sheet, closes the door, cranks that thing up to hot, and out came
I'm still waiting for you to tell me what's wrong with this. Because this sounds like he knows how to do laundry to me. This is what I'm thinking.
Well, the conversation went something to the effect of, now my brother was expecting, while standing around in a house filled with bubbles, this, oh my God, Greg, that was the nicest thing you ever did for me. Thank you. Are the greatest son ever.
Mommy loves you because you did my laundry. That's right.
You know what? You're better than John now. You're better than you've set a new standard.
You have raised yourself to the beyond John zone.
The actual conversation went something more to the effect of, Greg, why did you shrink every piece of clothing I own?
I was going to say, Greg, how come every one of my white tennis outfits now is a nice shade hue of red? I thought that was where you were going to, because
or
the brand new jeans, so you got the purple stuff going on there too.
Mom had a lot of clothes that did not go in the dryer and that hung on a hanger on the edge of the shelf that the booze was on,
I also
which was all filled with water at this point.
Yes,
but my parents, my dad will figure that out someday when he goes to pour something and gets a nice glass of water. But
but that's right. Sorry.
Yeah. But but the thing is that like Mom was in no mood for this shit, so she starts kind of going off on him, and Steph, she was freaking out a little bit from bubbles can be overwhelming.
That's true. They start out kind of cool, but you can get the whole thing. The whole thing is you normally don't get a bad high. You just get sucked out of the high you're in, I think is the way it works. That's what I've been told by people out there.
I don't Bubble. I never understood how emotional, how bubbles floating around that you blew yourself could really alter your moods and affect your thinking process. And so because like Mom came home earlier than expected, and we were, I guess, blowing bubbles was in the house was not cool,
Yeah, it's not cool if your parents come home. No, you're right. It's now here's something, Johnny. We need to delve into this a little bit, just because possibly I have to ask now. Somebody that would be bothered by that smell would have to know what that smell was.
Well, I don't know what they did. I know.
Yeah, now you understand.
My brother invested heavily in Lysol. So I think my mom just figured out he was having some bowel problems. That was always
Did your brother invest in Visine also?
Yeah. Yeah. There was always a bottle of Visine in his room.
Does your brother know how much it is per gallon, though?
I don't think they ever got to that point of the conversation.
Okay, because that happens later on in the game.
Yeah,
just to let you know.
Some people do math on Visine by the gallon. Some people shrink everyone's clothes.
Okay, that's true. So, it's right. You do you, I'll do me, and then two dudes living in a house together. Wow. So where'd that even come from?
Steph had her first bubble blowing experience. Mom comes home early, and Greg's like, just sit and watch TV and pretend everything's normal.
Oh my gosh, she's like full on paranoid, right?
She's just sit and so so her mood was on edge, and so Mom's is and Steph felt bad for Greg because he really meant well. He really meant well. He really wanted to do something nice for Mom. He was just had a case of the stupids because the vapors that the bubble mixture gives off goes right to your head and makes you stupid.
Yes, it does. That's its job. That's its job to make you stupid. That's exactly what its job is.
And he should have known better than to throw all Mom's clothes in the dryer because she's always hanging things up to dry. So Mom's going off on him, and Steph freaked out and went off on on Mom. Oh my God, he was trying to do something nice for you. What? And she backed down, actually.
Hey! Oh man! You know what it is? Check it out. I'm thinking it was like Steffi.
Now,
it is.
Now keep in mind.
I'm thinking it is. That's right. That's got to be it.
This is the version of the story that came from the bubble blowing participants. What really happened, I have no idea.
Oh, wait a second. Speaking of bubble blowing participants, he just hung up.
So that's the version of the story.
Let's see if I can call said bubble blower back.
I never compared notes with my parents because I didn't ask them, like, hey, that time that like Greg and Steph got stoned and yelled at you about laundry, what really happened? You know, because I don't think they actually knew about the bubbles.
That's right. Speaking of bubbles.
Yeah.
What's up, my bro? There, you know, it's funny. You talk about partaking in bubbles and then venison calls.
Who shows up?
That's right. Who's here?
Now, man, question here.
Okay.
While he was doing that laundry, did he have to throw any bleach in there?
Hopefully not.
Oh, I wish he did. No, it was just the dryer, the shrinkage that was the issue. But that could have easily happened.
Well, the good thing is he was obviously on autopilot. It's like okay, it's washed. It now goes in the dryer, and I know you throw a dryer sheet in there. So he was kind of on autopilot. Is what that was.
He was on autopilot. Yeah,
Because I kind of made that mistake once. You know, I said, okay, I got to do laundry. You know, because of what was happening in the house. So I went there and got one of my mother's dresses. This nice blue, dress, kind of expensive, that she went there and got. And I threw it in the wash. What the?
I was just
threw it in the wash.
Bringing up the video for you.
And took it out of the wash, and immediately went, uh-oh.
Yeah, I think what it was, I don't think that's the nice thing. I don't think I ever had that moment with my wife. I think she just watched me do laundry one time, or actually, I guess I dated her before we got married, so she had seen me do laundry at my house, and she's like, FYI, never doing my laundry ever again. This whole thing of sorting laundry to me was very strange because, like, I sorted, dirty, clean, dirty, clean, clean, dirty, 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 and then that was it. I didn't realize it was dirty whites, dirty this, dirty that, dirty, and on down the line. So
that beautiful blue dress had turned white.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Well, did she want a white dress?
She forgot about it.
Yeah, I never thought about it. She might have wanted white. Might have wanted to relive her, getting married days. Who knows? Possibly. Or not.
No.
Or not. Wow. Yeah, that would be some scary stuff. But hey, man, so I got to ask, what's the weather like in your neck of the woods? You're actually in New York or in the New York area.
Yes,
New Jersey.
It's clearing up. It'll be a beautiful sunny day in the 50s tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say I think it's supposed to be nice next week. I'll be in Dallas most of next week, so I'll be hanging out with all the other peeps out there.
Yeah, but I've got one strange thing with the weather here. It's with my TV. When the rainstorm starts moving into the area and moving out, I can get Channel 11 here in New York. It's like, oh, yay! I've got Channel 11 again, which was one of my favorite channels. They have Saturday morning cartoons. Yay!
Hey, there you go. Hey, by the way, I got the Twitter feed up on the line. Shy Guy says, what's the craziest thing you've accidentally run through the washer? I don't think I've ever put my phone through the washer. I almost one time, I almost washed my firearm. I came really close to that, which could have turned out bad. I had it sitting on a pile of clothes next to me because I'd taken it off when I took my clothes off back and I just took it and I threw it. I just took the whole thing, went vroom, into the washer, and I was preparing to. I'd already put the soap in and was preparing to turn it on when I realized that, wow, there was a gun sitting here just a little bit ago and it's not here anymore. So thank God that didn't happen because I don't know how that would have turned out. But
the
cleanest gun you ever
cleanest
had,
damn gun ever. I never thought about that. So that was mine. that ever went through. I think we've all done that. Other than that, I mean, gosh, I've washed my knife 1,000,000 times. It's in my pocket. I've washed, credit cards,
Yeah, I've washed money.
Oh, you wash money constantly, yes.
Oh, yeah. Dollar bills and $5 bills in the pocket. Didn't realize it. But after...
Mine's the change. Mine's always change. I forget all the time.
But they were clean when it came out.
That's true.
Like, oh, wow.
That's true. That's true. So that was the worst thing for me. But I don't think anything... I mean, it's strange enough. I've like I said, the knife worked better after it was washed. It was, the action on it was nice and smooth.
All right, that worked.
Throw some oil in there, good to go. Strange enough, my credit cards that I washed never once didn't work. Those were pretty badass, but they'll fail on their own, but not during a washing machine cycle.
Yeah.
Strange enough.
I'm kind of blanking on thinking of anything crazy I ran through the washer. I mean, now apparently, I got a good story. This is one that it's one of these things that at the time I didn't know why my parents did this, but I remember at one point in time, I had feety pajamas, and then the feet were cut off of them.
You still need to buy some more of those,
This goes back to when I was like, 3, okay.
Okay.
But I remember my mom cutting the feet off my feety pajamas, and it turns out the reason was I had a game I like to play called let's throw the crayon down into the feety pajamas.
Oh, that's a fun game. I never thought about that. It was like the disappearing crayon by Feety Pajamas.
Right.
Feety Pajamas. Here we go.
And when the game's over, where are the crayons? In your Feety Pajamas. Where are the Feety Pajamas going? In the washer, and then into the dryer.
So this wasn't done to accommodate Johnny Growthage. This was done to accommodate the not hiding the crayons in the Feety Pajamas. Then is what this was.
Yeah, this was a case of, now you go ahead, you throw crayons in your pajamas, and they're going to slide right on out through the foot hole,
and right.
And we won't ruin Daddy's work shirts anymore.
Which has to be. The thing is, people would pay good money for a shirt like that now.
Yeah,
there's probably somebody out there selling a crazy crayon shirt. For big bucks.
Could be.
Big bucks.
Yeah, you never know.
Like that. Oh, well. Okay.
I think about Feety Pajamas, but throwing crayons down Feety Pajamas.
That's true. Hey,
I don't remember this. I do not remember this.
Person.
Something just, this just goes to show how the mind of Dune works, that now that I'm at this age where things just kind of wander sometimes, something just totally random popped into my head that I was thinking about earlier today. And this just goes to show the stupid shit I think of sometimes.
Was that the bar?
No, it was not at the bar.
Okay.
Good try.
Okay.
The next morning after.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry, dude. Go ahead.
So anyway,
didn't mean to interrupt you.
So anyway, no, I was thinking to myself, and I don't know what it was. I was doing something, and I was choosing a font for something that I was going to put on the screen. Actually, it was for the To the Mac. I was choosing that font, the To the Mac font. And what made me think about this is I said, there's got to be somebody out there that can actually read wingdings off a piece of paper. That person has to exist. I was thinking, if there's people out there that can read and write Klingon and speak it, there has to be somebody that can actually read wingdings. I should, we should search for that. Person reading wingdings.
You just made me think of a random question.
Let's see if that comes up here.
You mentioned Klingon. One quick question, because I really don't remember. Maybe it slipped my mind or something.
We've got the history of wingdings.
Does anybody know the name of the Klingon homeworld?
Klingonville.
I thought Klingons hung out at Uranus.
But I was John. Damn it, Johnny! Damn it! What the hell is this? I just clicked on something that says how to speak and talk like a gangster in Wingdings.
Okay.
That's the name of this. Here, that's the name of this here. That's to the web. I don't want to go to the web. I want to go to the my iMac. Here we go. So that's what this one is.
That's what you get for following Skylord.
Yeah, this is pretty lame, by the way. Yeah, this
sounds like it.
This sucks completely. We got why does Wingdings font exist?
If you write anything on your computer,
and it's a commercial.
I write pretty much
because that's kind of the way it rolls. So this way I'm guaranteed to.
Celtic cross finger pointing Star of David does the Wingdings font exist? How many people are sending crucial interoffice memos that chronicle the saga?
No, wait a second. I have to. That's funny because you know how true that probably is. Hang on. Let me go back here. Yes. Did you notice this part here?
How many people are sending
right there?
Crucial...
Did you notice? That's funny. That's because you know somebody's going like, I got this idea. This is awesome. Nobody will ever figure this out. I mean, because think about it. Wouldn't it be safe to go, snowflake down left, hand, sad, Christian, bomb. Wait, what? Hey, what did you just say?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it just got weird. Yeah. So, yeah, so be careful when you're speaking Wingdings because it gets you in trouble.
The bombs and
I mean, think about it. You got
religious icons.
And look at this one. We got death, peace, cold, Christian, wet mailbox.
And that wet could be a blood drop.
It could be. I never thought about that. Or wait, bomb to the left, death in cold mailbox left, starry or sun peace sign. I don't know what that means.
I take it there's more than this video.
Yeah, it probably is. We'll have to watch that later because I've probably, as we speak right now, I've probably said too much. Just saying. Just saying. If, I'm telling you right now, think about it. There's recorders running as we speak. As we speak.
Make sure the FBI doesn't come into your chat room.
Yeah, they will. That's right. Absolutely. Oh, Warhawk says the name of Kronos. Konos? Klingon homeworld. QONOS.
Okay.
That's what it is. And he put the pronunciation in there, which I screwed up. So there you go. We should probably know that. I don't have any idea why I don't know that, but I always thought they came from Klingon. They're Klingons. They're from Klingon, right? I thought that was a thing.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah,
but,
they just mentioned it as the Klingon homeworld.
I mean, I'm a Kansan. I'm from Kansas. I just figured it made sense.
Well, I haven't watched Next Generation yet. We're just going to start the Blu-ray set. We just finished original series. Chris and I just finished original series.
Kronos. There you go. Kronos is how it's pronounced. Warhawk says, "Thank you, Johnny." No, thank you, thank you, Warhawk.
Wait, what was it again?
Kronos. Or Kronos. I think that's what it is. So there you go. Yes, the bar. That was freaky. I don't know what you're talking about on that other channel over there. It was not in a bar.
But it was not in the bar.
It was not in a bar. A bar. You're trying to trip me up, Johnny. I haven't been drinking, so it's not going to work.
But you did mention something about the bar.
I think that's just you remembering things wrong. It happens. We're old.
We could go back.
I don't think we can.
The tape.
I don't think there's a tape. I don't think there's a tape. As soon as I uncheck this box, no. No, it's one of those things. So we'll see.
I told my story, dude.
We'll have to. This may have to be continued later. We can always say. It can be one of those things where it says, Dune continues, kind of thing.
Well, speaking of continuing,
yes.
There's more to the story after we fled the White Castle parking lot, hoping that cops were not called
after the brawl de Bourges or whatever. Yes,
because we realized that we did actually have enough of yelling and physical stuff going on that we were possibly creating a disturbance in a public place, and that's when it's like, let's get the fuck out of here. And I had decided that I was done. I was this was one of many times I had decided I was never going to speak to Robert again, and just take me home, because I don't drive. Doug's driving. I'm at the mercy of him. Just take me home. I'm not speaking to you. I don't want to hang out with you again. Dude, just take me home.
We're out of here.
You know, so I can nurse my arm and get some ice on this, and maybe blow some bubbles in my breath. No, kidding.
We want to know the truth about that.
I was not blowing bubbles.
There was no bubble blowage from Johnny, is what you're saying.
It wasn't at the bar, but anyways,
okay. There, you know what? I will let that one there. I will let that one slide. I will laugh at that one. That's a good one. That's a good one there. Okay.
So the thing is, though, is that we're getting closer to my home, and on the way to my home is the Kmart where Robert's car with its newly formed dent is parked, and Doug pulls into the parking lot, and I'm like, why are we pulling in here? You're supposed to drop me off at home. You know what? You drop him right. And Doug says, all right, you two need to talk this out, because I'm not letting you just not speak to him anymore.
You've always got that one friend that wants to make peace. I think that's a good thing.
Right. And so Doug decided he was going to make peace. He's like, you two, I'm not moving this car from this spot until the two of you make up. And I am like, there's no fucking way. In Robert's mind, making up and working this out equated to some kind of a brawl in the Kmart parking lot.
Oh, to finish shit up, basically, is what you're talking about.
And I decided, as long as I'm in Doug's car, he can't fight me. And he also agreed with the status, which is why he starts like grabbing me by the legs to pull me out of the car. And so I grabbed the passengers. I'm in the back seat of the car, so I grabbed the passenger seat in a big old bear hug to keep me in the car. And Robert is pulling me with enough force that the seat is kind of moving and rocking. And this is Doug's like, no, one damaged car per night. So I don't need to do some explaining to my parents why their car no longer has a passenger seat.
So it's full on. You know, this is happening. Oh, yeah. This is on. That's right.
So Doug is like, don't break this seat. You're gonna rip this. And so he's like knocking my hands off the seat, like, just let him pull you out of the car and good luck to you. And I'm like, fuck you, Doug. I'm not going out there. Stop. and you don't want the seat ripped out. Talk to the guy that's doing the pulling. You know, it's like, and so basically. The thing was so ridiculous that by the time he pulled me out of the car, I think we were nearly laughing, except that we were still very angry. But it's like, whatever, he got me out of the car. Now let's get in the car and take me home. Okay, he got in the car, drove me home. And I don't know, at some point, Robert and I made nice after that. I think he realized what a dick he was. And I realized
I have to give you props, because you did haul off and smack a dude that's a black belt in karate. Because it had to stun him for a second that, holy shit, Johnny just hit me. I mean, there had to be that 1 second where that happened.
Yeah,
like, that just happened.
That
just happened.
Any time during that night?
No. This is before any drinking.
Speaking of which, the person in the other chat room over here says you had been drinking. No, I was at a bar. No, I was not at a bar. I was not at a bar. You were not in the bar. I was not at a bar, and I also and I had not been drinking, not a drop.
But there was a bar that you were at previously.
I was not at a bar.
When it happened.
You threw a punch for the karate guy when you're sober.
Yes.
That just signals all kinds of things like stupidity.
Well, the best part about that is, like I said, there's that second where the guy has to like process that I just got hit. You know, it's like that just happened.
Running.
That's
I would have ran far enough away that he couldn't react to that and hit back.
Yeah. Oh well. I never knew Johnny had it in him, I guess. It'd be one of those things.
That is the only time I was ever pushed to that level of anger that I would actually throw a punch at
I'm
another
being told
human.
I'm drinking tonight. Well, I have drank about this much of my blueberry beer. I have had about that much of it, though. I haven't quite finished that yet.
Blueberry beer.
Yes.
Blueberries, huh?
So now I continue to my story. So you can continue yours now. I mean, since we're all sharing here.
Yeah. So I'm not at a bar. I'm not.
You're not at a bar.
And I did not drink a drop, and I didn't. Which is
okay.
Probably why I did as good as I did. But I mean, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't drink a drop. And that was it. The details are really not that big of a deal.
Blind rage type of situation again, like, you know.
It could have been. There could have been. There might have been a female involved, possibly.
Oh.
Possibly. I don't know. That happens. Most good instances of people running into a fist and breaking your hand usually have to do with a girl. Just saying. I mean, that happens sometimes.
I could. Yeah. Okay. I see. I can see how that could happen.
That could happen. So anyway. Yeah.
Now
I mean, the girl walking by was distracting. You're checking her out. You tripped and landed on your hand.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be.
Could be.
Now, a girl didn't run into my fist. Just
no.
To say, no.
No, she was the distraction that caused the situation.
She was a distraction, yes.
That resulted in your hand impacting the ground when you tripped and fell.
That's right.
But she was the distraction, the catalyst, so to speak.
There you go. That's right. She
triggered off a series of events that resulted in your hand impacting something that resulted in.
I like the way you think.
Yes.
Are you sure it wasn't you were with somebody else and they looked at her too, but you said, "I want her"? Fist.
No. You lose. You
lose.
You win nothing. No.
I actually have a story about someone who also broke their hand in a fight. But there was a guy by the name of Josh, and I don't know what happened, but there was a lot of drinking involved.
Mm-hmm.
We're all hanging out at Pete's. We're all hanging out at Pete's house. It was the type of night that I was going to be crashing on a couch because, no one's driving at the end of this night. And Josh lived down the street, so he could walk. And he got angry, and he ran down the street screaming. And since he didn't want to punch anyone, he got in a fight with a stop sign. And he lost.
I've known people to do that. They get into fights with stop signs, brick walls, inanimate objects, and they always lose. I've never known anybody who's ever won a fight like that. Ever.
That stop sign is still standing to this day.
To this day.
Josh ended up in the hospital all night getting his, hand fixed up.
Yep. I remember a story of a guy that came to work one. Actually, he didn't come to work. He called in one time because he couldn't come to work because he'd been thrown from the roof of a moving car. And my first question to him was, what movie have you ever seen that work? Ever? Have you ever seen anybody jump on the hood of a car and have that work as to make the car stop? I just throwing that out there. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't remember seeing that episode ever. So so it turned out typical. Left, right, boom, bang, gone, off into the road. So,
Well, I got into a fight with somebody. I broke something, but it was on him. And fight never again.
Yes, it always works that way.
You don't mess with a kid that was working as a trucker with his uncle.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Hey, speaking of what could go wrong, tomorrow on NHBRadio.com, if you go there and check out the schedule, it says that tomorrow, live at 8 p.m.,
is
insert title here.
The show that changes names so often we had to put a placeholder in.
That's right. And we're going to tomorrow's episode is going to be, we're going to move everything into the living room. What could go wrong? I think that could be it.
And we apologize if
that could be it.
Yeah.
That could be it.
But yeah, we're going to try take 2. I think I got the process down. Move the tower, move the mixing board. Don't plug the dongle into the front. Don't hard shut down. And we should be good to do another show from the couch with we've brought back an old co-host from the past. my wonderful wife, Kristen, will be joining me on the couch again, and she does great.
It was very fun. It was a great show last week. You're right. It just that's one of the things, for the people on Twitch, that always helps.
Yeah.
Add a girl. It always helps.
Well, and a co-host you got a good chemistry with, because that was the thing, is that she drifted away from the show, but when I went back to the recording of the one recording I have left of the many shows we did together on the couch, I was like, oh my God, when we were doing the show on the couch together, we had a great chemistry. It was an entertaining show.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a co-host I think I could talk into doing the show with me again, because, no one else wants to.
She's already there. You don't have to go pick her up.
Well, I mean, Brian's there, Venison's there. We all have a good, but there was something missing, and I found what was missing. And Kristen brings it back.
There you go.
And so we got, between me, Kristen, Brian, and Venison, we got a good gang going again.
There we go. Okay, Venison, you got a few seconds. You want to plug anything?
No, not really. Except for maybe, catch one of my last two venison stews in New Jersey.
We will retreat that for you. All right, people, NHPRadio.com is the site. Use it often, use it wisely. Don't forget, tomorrow, check out Jonny. Tuesday, check out Vamp. There's somebody on Fridays sometimes. There's a Saturday show that's called Outlaw Radio. There's Dune and Bob on Sunday. There's a 5-Hit with Dune on Saturday. There's a guy on The Works over there. Go check them out. And did I get everything?
Yeah,
I think I did. All right, take care,
Game
people.
over, man.
I'm glad that's over.
Man, that was awful. Boy, I know. You know what I hated most? What? Everything stunk. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
Let's blow this joint.
It's time to blast off for Dreamland. Don't go away mad. Just go away.
Let's call it a day. Everybody, go home.
Good night, lady.
See you later, alligator.
Go in peace, sin no more. I'm out of here.
Now, run along and play with your little toys.
Oh, it just gets worse and worse.
Please come again.
I have exorcised the demon. This house is clear.
Not.
That's all, folks.
We are leaving.
This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Oi, shoot the radio.